This is the Mohsin Mortgage Program with Sarah Mohsin. Mohsin Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550. And now, here's your host, Sarah Mohsin.
It's Monday, folks. It's great to be back here again. Last week was wonderful. Here we are in San Diego, and we're certainly loving every minute of it. Keep the phone calls coming. Ask the question. It's all about finding ways to save you as much money as possible. We can help refinance you. We can help you with your first home if you need to purchase, or your second home. And we're in wholesale lending, so our rates are extremely low. We're in the threes right now. So give me a call, 1-800-662-9550. Today, I actually have a really dear friend of mine, Gwen Baugh, and I'm really excited to have you on the air. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here with you today.
It's my pleasure. Believe me, I've known you for so many years. We met through a mutual friend a few years ago.
Exactly.
And I'm just happy to have you with me to just share, as a woman in faith and in business and life, you know, how you made your choices and where you are today. And I feel so blessed to have met you and have you in my life.
Thank you, Sarah. I was in a position where it was kind of dark in my life. I would pay my bills and other things, and then what was left over I'd put in the collection plate on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And a phrase kept coming through my mind: blessings come with obedience. So after, I had been to many classes and had purchased tapes on financial freedom, mm-hmm. but I wasn't experiencing any freedom. They tell you to pay your debts, get an emergency fund, and have a spending plan. But I never had anything left at the end to do that.
Right.
So then when I became obedient and offered God my first fruits, I began to see changes in my life, and he was putting people in my life that could help me out. And Sarah was one of the people that he brought into my life. Sarah taught me about refinancing, the advantages and benefits of refinancing. And by refinancing, I was able to pay off my credit cards.
Right.
I have a spending plan, do some fix-ups to my house, and have an emergency plan. So that was just a load off my shoulders. And Sarah was very pleasant, would answer all my questions, and she was available all the time. And she never made you feel inadequate with the questions you would ask her.
Well, Gwen, it was a real pleasure, because for me, the choice you made to even come to us and come to me on a personal matter, which is such a major decision that you make, and can change your life dramatically because of the fact that we do have the tools. And you are a dear friend of mine, and when we chatted about it, it was a real privilege. I felt very touched that you did decide to come to us and talk about ways to save money and get refinanced and make the choices that you've made on getting rid of whatever outstanding amounts that you needed to, and have money set aside for renovations, etc., on the home. So definitely it means a great deal to me when someone comes to me and shares something that personal.
Because we had been friends for a long time before. And that's what's nice about you. You're not pushy. You let people come to you.
I want people to be comfortable, mm-hmm. because, I see this business of folks going out there and listening to the ads, and these big companies are talking about, I'll do this for, mm-hmm. 2%, I'll do this for this, and the teaser rates. And I want relationships with everyone who's going to come to us and entrust us with something so major, because it is life-changing.
It definitely is, and it's such a pleasant exchange in life. I can do things that I wasn't able to do before, mm-hmm. and I just have a calm, at peace feeling now.
Right, it is a sense of peace, because like the things that, when I always say to folks, when you go out to buy a house, and you certainly want to get the right people to build that foundation, you mm-hmm. want to get the architect. You cannot build that foundation on your own if you're not an expert in the field. And so when I went out there to get into better shape, both of us have a good friend of mine who does these boot camps and fit camps. We sponsor this friend of mine for events and as an athlete. So I go to the person who's the expert in the field. And when you came to me, Gwen, we have known each other for a number of years. Mm-hmm. I think when there's a need and the person is ready, then they should come to us, because we're not about the glam and glitz. We're a family-owned business. We work really hard, and we feel gratitude when we end up seeing that people are happy and they get a nice low rate in the threes, that they can actually plan for retirement. They don't have debt. They don't have worries. And if you refer us, that's even a bonus. Now, you are very much a woman of faith. You do go to church regularly, and that is another thing that I really look up to. And I say, I admire and respect that that a higher power is there making decisions and is guiding you along the way. I don't ever want to make someone do a loan with us unless they're ready.
And that was what you did. And because I have more financial freedom now, I'm able to do more with my church and for different missions and just give back to society. I'm very fortunate to have a lot that most people don't have. So
we are fortunate. We're very blessed. And as Pat Ryan, who's always on the show with me, to God goes the glory, she says, I agree. You give your first 10% of your money to God, to the church. You do some good. You work with the community. And that's what we always try and do as a company. That, yes, we are about helping people with their finances, but at the end of the day, we can get you into a good rate in the 3s. But what can you do with that free capital?
Exactly.
What can you do for your church? What can you do for people in the community? You don't have to spend $1 million. And I always say actions speak louder than words. Do something that will work with the community, with the church. Give yourself that freedom not to have to worry about where you're going to be in the next 5 years. And that's what, I felt grateful that we were able to help you with those choices.
Yes, and like I said, I'm able to do a lot more with my church, and I volunteer a lot at my church. I was trying to find my spiritual gifts, and now I was able to have God direct me to where I should be.
It is a sense of peace that comes over you, and I think that anyone, in my 20s, I went into credit card debt. And then I was in college, I ended up collecting these credit cards. They weren't looking at income. They said, here you go, have some fun. And before I knew it, I had $3,000 in credit card debt, and I did not have a solution. And my father said, well, good luck. You're going to get a job and figure it out because I'm not going to bail you out. Of course, in my 20s, I was a very angry person for him not helping me, but he did the right thing. He taught me that lesson that I need to figure this out and fix it. And I did. I figured it out. But here's the other thing. We're not here to sit in judgment. We're not here to ask questions of why or why not. We're here to fix it, get the solutions. And in reality, we've all made decisions that may not have been the best ones. But did you learn the lesson is my question.
Exactly.
That's what
learn
it comes.
And move on.
Yeah, learn and move on. Because if you don't learn the lesson, then we're going to have, obviously another chapter in learning the lesson. But the bottom line is it's the financial freedom, which I think that is very critical.
Oh, definitely so.
Did you find that with the process itself, when we were working with you, did it take you, was it too, did the process went fairly quickly, right, with the things that would...
Yes, it did. There was some curves in the road, but Sarah was very patient with me. Sometimes I thought it would never work, but Sarah just said, hang in there, we'll work this through, and she was always available to help me out and do some research on different situations we were encountering.
We did encounter some interesting situations, and that's why I always say to folks that, when we're refinancing or helping people purchase a property, we are in that unique position to get things fixed and sorted out, whereas local banks or credit unions may walk away and say, look, it doesn't fit our sort of type of loan. Maybe it's a debt-to-income ratio. You have too much debt. Maybe it's because you can't get certain documentation. Ours is a very a seamless type of business because wholesale lenders, they are looking to help folks who may not have the perfect scores. They may have 680 scores or 640 scores, but they can still get the rates that someone in the 800 scores can actually have. And then with your loan, we saved quite a bit in interest.
Yes, we did.
We brought the rate down. We saved you quite a lot of money in interest. I think it was like $70,000 or $80,000 for the life of the loan. And then prepare for retirement, which is number one. I think we all should prepare from day one.
Yes, it was so nice because I wanted to do some fix-ups with my house, and I never before saw a way to do it.
Right.
So by getting a little extra money from refinancing, I was able to do things that I wanted to do and still have money set aside for emergencies.
Did you end up updating any items in your home yet, or are you still planning?
No, I did. I have.
Did you?
Yes, immediately with my first check.
That's good. That's exciting.
Yes,
so
it was.
You kind of refresh the house a little bit. And as I've said to folks, the bottom line is that you have options. Refinancing changes, and you've said it, changed your life, didn't it?
Definitely did change my life.
freed up income, got you a lower interest rate, ended up with getting equity out, getting cash out, basically to renovate your property. And as always, I've said, we remain in contact with our listeners throughout the process. So it's not as if you're going to have 10 different people. You can't get a hold of us after 5 o'clock. I mean, those are things that are critical. People are working. They need to be in touch with you after 5 or on the weekends. And I just wanted to say, Gwen, thank you for having you on the air. I do appreciate it so much.
And thank you for all the things you've done in my life.
Oh, not at all. Stay well, folks.
This has been the Mohsin Mortgage Program with Sarah Mohsin. Mohsin Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550.